Welcome to the Bobby O Show. My name is Bob Potsner, and I have a wonderful show planned for you today. As you may recall, I have been doing a two-part series on the Lebanon American Club of Danbury. We had our first show a few weeks ago with Judge Sadi and with John Jowdy. And today we have three more guests, one of whom is part of the auxiliary, the women's auxiliary of the Lebanon American Club of Danbury, and two other very interesting and hardworking people who support the club tremendously. So I want to introduce to you all Randa, Antous, Ghassan, Najm, and Nabil, Takla. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
I just want to start out saying we're having a little bit of technical difficulty with Gus's involvement, and we do our best to get him on. But if we can't get him on at all, we at least will have some great photographs that we have of Gus. So let me start with Randa, if you wouldn't mind. Randa, please introduce yourself as to who you are, what you do, and anything else you want to tell us. The history of how you came to America, we'll do that in the second part. But I just want a little introduction from you at this point in time.
Sure. Hi, Bob, and everyone. My name is Randa Antous, and I am the president of the Ladies Auxiliary at the Lebanon American Club. I came to the United States to pursue studying. I came with a master's degree in art and archaeology from Lebanon, and it was in the 1987 that I came to the United States, and I applied to several schools. I got accepted to Harvard University for a special program to pursue my PhD at the time. That afterwards, it didn't materialize because I met my husband in the United States, and we got married. I moved to Danbury, Connecticut, and we got married in 1991, and I've been married since. I am the first to come to the U.S. from my immediate family. My husband is third generation Lebanese. And I joined, obviously, the Lebanon American Club, and I became president after being a treasurer for a couple of years. And so far.
I'm going to ask my director, Candy Ann, to put a picture called Randa College.
Sure. Okay. So this picture is taken in Byblos. I'm so glad, so I'm in the middle. The lady in the white sweater is my colleague and my best friend who was deceased last year. She finished her PhD in archaeology and became a curator in one of the most important private museums in Beirut, the Museum of Muawad, who is the top diamond jeweler in the world, and the museum is absolutely out of this world. She's a brilliant lady, and this is one of the things I say about Lebanese women and their education and how important it is. The other,
we're going to get Rhonda. We're going to get into that in a few moments. I do want to say Byblos, I believe, is spelled Byblos, and that's in Lebanon. It's a great picture. And you know, Rhonda, that I'm a pretty flexible guy because as a Yale graduate, I'm allowing a Harvard graduate to be on my show. You might be the first Harvard graduate ever on my show, so it's a credit to you that a Yale guy's letting a Harvard woman on this show.
The one thing I have to say though, I did not graduate though. I went to Harvard, but I did not graduate. So I just want to make it very clear.
But that's okay. Some people might say a degree from Harvard's not worth anything anyway. So there you go. And I'm kidding with you, right, Rhonda? Okay. The next gentleman is going to be Nabil Takla, who I've known now both in regard to the club and also we've done some professional things together. Nabil, how about a little bit about your background, sir?
Yes, indeed. I was born in Beirut, Lebanon, and got educated, got my MBAs and the LLB, which means I became a lawyer in Lebanon. I was a teacher in Lebanon, and really I did not leave Lebanon until I was 30 years old. And we went to Athens, Greece. I was newly married, because of civil war to work there. And eventually, after 14 years, I decided to join our greater family, bigger family in Michigan. In Michigan, my in-laws, their ancestors came early 1900s. Actually, I have a great uncle, George Takla, who was also in the 1900s came to Indiana. But since then, our family, the Taklas, did not venture outside Lebanon, except some of them came to Brazil. Nevertheless, the Haddads, my wife's family, they have a long history of early immigration. So to make it short, we joined them in Michigan in 1990 because then I decided that my family should have some roots here in the States. So we moved in. Then eventually, within 6 years, 7 years, I had the opportunity to come and they work for a company, the Morganti Group Inc., which is owned by actually a Lebanese construction company of whom I was a general counsel. And the rest is history. I came to Denver in 1996. And since then, I settled here and I retired from the construction company in 2020, actually. And since then, I had the time to get more involved with our Lebanon American Club. Currently, I am the vice president of the club.
Nabil, I didn't know until just now that Morganti was owned by a Lebanese individual. I didn't know that. And I will say to you, I do, as I said before, I've known Nabil for several years. He's a true gentleman. Can we just show picture Mayor number one, Candy Ann, please? Nabil, what is this picture?
Actually, the Lebanon American Club has managed to get in, of course, some good relationship with the City Hall. So many years ago, we established the monument, Lebanese monument, actually in the City Hall front yard. And since then, also, we agreed that we can raise the Lebanon flag yearly in front of the City Hall there. And the old mayors actually graced us with their presence and they sponsored it. So we do it usually the last Sunday of June. It's an occasion to talk about or present our contributions and participation in the larger community and our happiness that we are US citizens, but to also promote our culture and make sure that our contributions are recognized. This year, I was pleased and honored to be one recognized for myself. They recognized me for my contributions to the community and my life achievements. And this is a picture that was June 30th, 2024. And
well, first of all, Mazel tov on your award. I'm sorry, Mazel tov on your award, and going right to left. Oh, I'm going to say a picture one more time. Going right to left in the picture was Julie Kushner, who's a state representative, Judge Sadi, who was a guest on the first show I did on this Lebanese community, the mayor, and then the award winner, Nabil. Nabil, you were saying something. I cut you off inadvertently.
No, actually, you mentioned it good. I was mentioning the people who are in the picture.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we have Ghassan Najm, and everyone calls him Gus, so that's why I'll call you Gus. Gus, how are you, sir?
Very well, thank you.
Okay. I just lost you, so here's what we're going to do. I want to go. We're having a delay in your Gus. Let's go to Gus's photos. Let's do one at a time, and maybe Randa or Nabil can tell us what the pictures are. So at least we get the pictures that Gus so kindly got to us. Want to just put all the pictures we have? We'll go one at a time. Candy Ann? These would be the one. Okay. This is, I can tell you this picture. This is a picture of the beautiful room that's, I guess, the main room at the Lebanese Club in Danbury. It's a beautiful, beautiful room. Let's go to the next one. Who can identify what this picture is? Randa, you're in the picture, right, Randa?
That's correct.
Okay. Can you identify, is that Gus in the picture to your left?
That's Gus and Nabil. And also the student that received the scholarship award this year.
Can you identify with the student by dress or shirt or whoever it is?
Well, to my right, the students is the gentleman with the suit. I don't know their names, to be quite honest with you.
Were they all winners? Were they all award winners?
Yes, they were. They were like, it was very tough to. They were amazing students. They were all like high achiever students. One of them is going to Harvard actually, and then right
Randa,
after.
before you go on, Randa, I think Gus is back. So Gus, can you identify the people in the picture?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Can you identify? Can you see the picture on the screen?
Yes. So the students are actually in the center, six of them. If you want to start from the left over. So
yes, if you know their names,
David
I'd like to
Capiello.
I'm sorry?
Have David Capiello to the left.
Okay.
And then my wife is the co-chair of the event, Betty, and Ruth Ashkar, past president of the Ladies Auxiliary. And then you start the students, and then obviously you reach to Randa and myself and Nabil.
I think if I heard you correctly, I believe Ruth may be the aunt of Jonathan Capiello. Am I correct? Is that
She's
John
the aunt
Ashkar?
of David Capiello and Jonathan. Yes, she's actually.
Yes.
I gotta believe she's probably the grandmother.
Okay. Well, I just want to. I'm sorry, Randa.
And the current vice president of the Ladies Auxiliary.
Well, I want to identify the fact that she's related to Jonathan, who's my co-director, who's not on today.
Yes,
but I just wanted.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to identify. Now we'll get the pictures off. Let's go to the rest of the pictures while we have them on, and then we'll get your introduction. The next picture. What is this picture, Gus?
This one during the early 80s, when I was going to college in New York City. So the bottom picture has some of my college mates, and the top picture are friends coming to visit us during some of the times, as I mentioned previously. We became more the tour guides for all friends that came out of state.
When you say tour guides, explain why that was done. And
basically, anytime we have friends come into town, into New York City, we were the ones who took them around and shared, with them all the sites in New York. So we've been on the Circle Line, Empire State Building, and all the sites, significant sites that usually would be visited.
Gus, since you mentioned coming to the United States, and I'm going to ask the other two people their why they came to America. While I have you on, in case I lose you, I don't want to lose you. So why don't you, Gus, tell us when and why you came to the United States from Lebanon?
Right after high school in Lebanon, we always look for ways to where do we go for college, and after basically going through from based on our education, we're able to go to English-speaking or French-speaking countries. Eventually, landed in New York City through a distant relative who was able to, the family who were able to get my application approved. So I attended school in New York City, and for the next 4 or 5 years, 6 years, after graduating, I was already married at that point. I joined IBM. And IBM had plans to move to Connecticut, consolidate a number of headquarters locations into Connecticut. And that's what brought us into Connecticut in 1986 and into the greater Danbury area in 1989. We joined the St. Anthony Church at that point. And through St. Anthony Church, I was introduced to the Lebanon Club, actually through Mark Puri. And the rest is history.
Thank you very much. Randa, you started to tell us a little bit about why you came in. I'm going to ask Candy Ann, can we have the Cape Cod picture?
So I finished my my master's degree in Lebanon, and I wanted to pursue a PhD. And like Ghassan said, it was either you go to Europe or to the United States, basically, at the time. And it was during the war in Lebanon. And I had a brother in the United States, so I decided to come to the United States. And basically, that's why I came here and started the program in Boston, and then got married, came to Danbury, and was introduced to the Lebanon American Club by my mother-in-law. After I got married, she was a member back in the days of the American Lebanon Club, and that's when I started visiting with her. I was not a member at the time. I used to come a lot with her when she came down, and there we are today.
Now, the reason that picture was shown in Cape Cod, that's where you lived when you first came over?
That is correct. I was commuting from Cape Cod to Boston every single day to go to school. It was a very long trip for me, between buses and red tea and whatever what have you at the time. But I was doing it, and I was like eager to get it done. Yeah, it was a lot of work, and getting used to the fact that you're in a different country, doing like from back in the days in Lebanon. For me to get to school, I would get in my car and drive about 20 minutes or so. Back in the days, there was not too many cars on the roads and traffic and all that. To get here, it took me 2 hours to get to school every day, each way. So
You probably did a lot of studying in the car or the train.
I did on the bus, or mainly on the bus, because on the metro is shorter, but on the bus I did.
I want to say before I go to Nabil, I'm Jewish, and my family and the Jewish tradition and culture is education, education, education. I wanted to play basketball as a little kid, and I'd have to defer. I couldn't play every game because I had to go to Hebrew school and study when I was in 5th and 6th grade, because education is critical. I didn't realize, and I appreciate what I learned from you folks and the others I interviewed at the club, how important education is to the Lebanese community. And part of when I do my shows, I like to learn about things. I'm a lawyer. I do very few shows on the law. I like to do things to learn. And so I thank and appreciate how much, and we'll get to your scholarship program in a moment, how important it is to your community of education. And so far, almost everybody I've interviewed, you folks in the prior show, it's always been education is a large part of why people came here. Nabil, my friend Nabil.
Yes.
You talked a little bit about how you came and why you came. I'd like you to talk a little bit about Michigan, because there seems to be a big population in Michigan. And it's interesting to me why different ethnic groups come to different parts of the country. So talk a little about when you came over, why Michigan?
Good question, because most of our families that left Lebanon and came to the United States ended up in Michigan, because two of the grandfathers of my wife, actually, the Haddads, came to Ellis Island, and from there they found their way to Detroit because Mr. Ford has worked for them. So the auto industry put them in that, and then of course relatives and friends would be coming to the States, and they will find their way to work there in Michigan. And actually, that's why we decided that eventually the newer generation we should gather our families in one place, and it was actually Grosse Pointe Woods, Grosse Pointe Shores. That's the area that I lived in, and I only moved here to Danbury because of work, as I said, and I found many of the immigrants came to Ellis Island and ended up in Danbury because the hat industry. It's funny. And that's how families really gather and get established.
I'm going to see picture. We have two pictures, Nabil. We have Nabil children first. Can we show that picture, Nabil children, please, Candy Ann?
Okay.
What is this picture?
When I came to the United States, until I got my American passport, I did not leave. And at that time, I have here two of my children. One is on the left. His name is Musa. He is now a doctor at Stanford Hospital here. He is in pulmonology and critical care. The other one is on the right. He is a lawyer in New York, and he is a graduate of University of Michigan Law School. The other three are their cousins. Also, they are born in Michigan, and they had the opportunity at that time to travel to Lebanon with us. And here we made them visit the Baalbek. It is, of course, the Roman temple done by the Romans. It's one of the prominent architectural, marvels of the place.
Candy, let's go to the last one called Nabil family. Just a quick picture of your family. That's
Yes.
a beautiful picture. That's a beautiful picture.
What happened that I was lucky that my niece, who is on the left side here, Micheline, and her mother, and her other sister. The Sue is in Michigan. Jocelyn is here in Danbury, and Micheline came with her husband, who is on the right, and that is a son behind him, Joey, from Sydney.
Who's the guy smiling in the middle with the glasses? Oh, that's you.
Somebody
That's you.
like me, yeah.
That's a beautiful picture.
And my wife is in front with my son behind me, Musa. My daughter Nada is a teacher at Rogers Park in English literature. Okay. Ramzi is in the front, his wife, and our only granddaughter. She is almost 2 years old, and my wife Hind is in the middle.
Let's go. Okay, I want to go to, before I go to the auxiliary, women's auxiliary, I want to talk to Randa about that because I wanted to get equal time for what the auxiliary does. I listened to your story. I know my family story. My grandfather came, who I never met. Well, I was 5 or 6 months when he passed away, so I actually met him. But he came from Poland. My grandmother came from, one grandmother came from South Africa through England. And the point I want to make is we're all immigrants, all of us. Now, everyone here in the United States is immigrants. And I don't understand, and this is not a show about politics, and this is another topic, but I just don't understand the perspective of many people in our country against immigrants. Because listen, you got doctors, you got lawyers, you got archaeologists, you got IBM, everything. We welcome. That's what America is all about. We welcome people. And I just want to tell you that when I asked about your stories, I did that because it's important to the future of America to say to immigrants, follow our rules, follow our laws, and you're welcome. And that's my little spiel. Now I want to go, Randa, to you, because there is, as I understand it, an auxiliary. We only have, by the way, about 5 minutes left. That's how much we could do a 3-hour show, folks. But in any event, tell us relatively quickly, why did the auxiliary get developed of the Lebanon Club of Danbury and Lebanon American Club of Danbury? Why did it get developed, and what do you do?
Well, obviously, as we've said before, women in the Lebanese household is extremely important. And at the time, it started to be a men's club, and the ladies started to helping them. And then eventually they formed their own auxiliary of the men. And the reason we formed this entity is to help in the community, to help our community, and at the same time help everyone in need. So our community today, our auxiliary today, do not only help the Lebanese community, but we also help everyone in need. And we try to develop as well our community and our young generation. That's the goal of it, to become, to always remember where they came from and where they are today. So the most important thing is to always never forget your past, and always remember where you're at, and bridge that history between the two countries. Respect both. Bring whatever you've learned, the good things that you have from your uh, country of origin to the country you're living in, and try to embrace both. Um, for the club, actually, um, it's very important for the ladies. We are in a way the backbone of the club, because at any time we do any affairs or we do any things at the club, we are part of it. We're helping the men in everything they do. We try, as I said, to organize events, whether it's to help, like for example, St. Jude's. We've done also fundraiser for places in Lebanon, like for elderly places in Lebanon, like Beit el Barakah. Um, we try to be active. We also help every year in hospice, and we try to be active members in the community. And within, we're trying to revive our young generation, because, as you know, it's very difficult nowadays to bring the young generation into certain organization. So we've done like
Randa, and I want to say that's why I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's why I really like the picture we had from Nabil of his family when he had the young children in Lebanon. Because I happen to agree with what you said, and what has been a theory and a theme of the Lebanon Club is that we're happy to be in America. We love America.
Absolutely.
But our background, our nationalities, our diversity is very, very important. So when Nabil had the picture that he had of his family the first time in Lebanon, it rings true for me. Gus, do you think you want to add to this? We have only like a minute left, so you have 3 sentences before I have to end the show. Gus, you're going to have the last word before.
Just quickly, I would say we have a number of programs, cultural and civic programs. And on the cultural side, some of the things that we talked already about, the scholarship program. We also had a teachers exchange program with the local area schools and in collaboration with schools in Lebanon, where we sent teachers to Lebanon, and the teachers from Lebanon come to the U.S. That was a great program that we've had. And
Gus,
also participate in international festivals.
Gus, that's a great program. I was in the Board of Education for 15 years in my town. I was in 2 different towns for 15 years, and the connection education-wise is critical. I want to thank the 3 of you, Judge Sadi, John Jowdy. There are many other great people. My former law partner, Paul Jaber, is a member of the club. And there are great people there. And you guys have embraced me. You've given me your information. You've warmed me, invited me to events, invited me to dinners at the club. And I want to set my appreciation to you all, to your club. And the next time anyone who watches this show goes by the club, wave just to the club, because they do a great thing for America, and they're also the nationality. Thank you so very much. This has been Bobby O on the Bobby O Show. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.